Right, so let's talk about Nissan a little bit. There's been a lot about it in the news recently, and I thought that it's worth, just touching on what is going on and what is likely to really happen when it comes to a manufacturer such as Nissan. Now, everybody's saying that it's on the ropes. It's facing financial turmoil, production cuts. There are whispers of it collapsing within 12 months. But this is the brand behind icons like the GTR, Z cars, the Nissan Patrol. Could it really go just like that? What are the actual facts? What is actually going on? Well, I'll tell you what, this might be something more than just the manufacturer saying that they're in their death throes. It might be more of a wake-up call. I think Nissan has got more left in it than people might think. In fact, I'm sure of it. And I'll explain why right after this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Right, so we do know that Nissan has reported a loss, £58 million last quarter alone, and that their global production is down for 5 straight months. They're cutting 9,000 jobs, and their longtime partner Renault has reduced its stake, forcing Nissan to fend for itself. It all sounds pretty dire, right? But here's the thing. While the headlines are grim, I believe this is less about Nissan failing and more about a brand recalibrating for survival. I mean, this is a company that's got too much history. There's too many fans. And, even knowing what I've known because going to various events and things, there's a lot of great cars in the pipeline. There's a lot of amazing tech that they're working on. There's a lot of incredible concepts that they're working on. So what's really going on? I mean, the reality, like I said, is that they are making a loss. Nissan CEO, Makoto Uchida-san, is under massive pressure to deliver a turnaround. And the clock is ticking on what many are calling, the make or break year, which will be 2025 for Nissan. So what is Uchida's son's strategy? Slash costs, streamline operations, and reposition the brand in the hyper-competitive EV market. To be honest, the numbers aren't looking very pretty. 15% production declines in the US and US and China, and a 23% dip in the UK, 23% dip, and a global drop, like I said, for 5 consecutive months. Add to that the increasing costs that is resulting from having to create EVs, the tighter EV regulations, and then, of course, like I said, the scaled-back partnership with Renault. And you can see why people are raising alarm bells. So that much is you can understand. However, here's where things get a little bit more interesting, I think. While Nissan's challenges are real, I think their response is quite calculated. I mean, although they appear to be cutting back, but on the other hand, they are doubling down on what does work for them. So they are leveraging global production and then reshuffling their priorities, essentially to get back in the game, right? Production in Mexico, for example, is actually up 12%. And that's not by accident. It's a strategic play to navigate tariffs and stay competitive in the US. However, although Trump might cause a few problems in that, the new incoming president, or rather the old incoming president again, if you see what I mean. But anyway, this does open the doors, and I think this is the thing about what they're trying to do, is they're opening the door to potential investors. Now imagine China, for example, a Chinese car company, a Chinese manufacturer steps in because they've got their own tariff battles in America, but also in Europe, less so in the UK. And suddenly a global network like this could offer a back door for them to bypass some of those barriers. I mean, this is speculation on my part, but I'm thinking that is what's really going on here, that it's quite possible that a company in China is going to step forward and take a stake in Nissan. I mean, it's a juicy opportunity. There's heritage there. And as I've said before, it's the one thing that Chinese car companies lack, is heritage. And Nissan has that in spades. I mean, let's not forget who we're talking about. This isn't just a car company, this is an institution. GTR, 300ZX, 280ZX, 240Z. I mean, the Nissan Patrol still remains a legend in the deserts of the Middle East. JDM enthusiasts love the cars, off-road enthusiasts in the Middle East swear by the cars. I mean, Nissan has a fan base that most brands could only dream of. Sorry to interrupt. Are you enjoying the video? Well, make sure you've punched the like button. It helps. they're not just coasting on past glories. I mean, don't forget, this is a company that gave us the Nissan Leaf. It's one of the original EVs, one of the longest running EVs, a bestseller in some countries. So they do know how to make and sell electric cars, unlike some other legacy manufacturers. And they're continuing to innovate. I mean, they're looking at, at a conference that I was at maybe about a year or less ago, and they were very much talking about solid state batteries and how they are really, really close. Possibly 2027, possibly 2028 is when they're going to start putting those in cars. They have already come out with their next EV, which is the Aria, which is a fantastic medium-sized SUV, which is all electric. And I think the main thing to talk about here is, in essence, to reassure you guys, especially if you are a Nissan fan or a Nissan owner, or if you're thinking of buying a Nissan. Here's my takeaway. Don't worry about it. Nissan cars are reliable. If you're buying a used one, don't worry about it. The dealer network is robust. And whether you're driving a micro or patrol, I don't think this brand is going to vanish overnight. These are restructuring moves. This isn't about closing shop. This is about opening the shop front and trying to lure in new major investors. I think that's what this is about. This is what Nissan is trying to do to stay competitive in the future. So, the reality is, and I have said this, that with the major reshuffle of the automotive world order that is currently happening, largely because of EVs, but also other factors, it is inevitable that we are going to lose some major brands that we've grown to love and have loved for a long time. But maybe Jaguar could be one of them, that maybe is a subject for another video. But, I think it will happen. But having said that, I don't think Nissan is going to be one of those brands. So, if you ask me, is Nissan really going to die within 12 months? No, I don't think so. Yes, it's not an easy time, and this is happening to all manufacturers. They're all having to scale back. They're all having to lose jobs. They're all having to cut back on their investments and their plans, and they're all having to rethink their plans as well just to survive. They need to get more nimble. They need to get more alert. They need to be more flexible about what they're doing. But this isn't the first time that Nissan has faced adversity. This is a company that's got, like I said, too much heritage. They've got too much innovation going on, and too much potential, frankly, for anyone to just write them off right at this moment. These alarm bells, like I said, they're more as a signal to attract the right partners and investors going forward, because it's basically saying, look, we're going to die if you don't help me. They're not going to die, but they're just trying to find somebody that will help them. And there will be companies out there, there will be major investors that will go, Nissan? Wow, we could get involved in that. I reckon this is probably going to be the start of the comeback once they've settled with a new partner. And that's what I think is going to happen. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Are you really worried about Nissan? Have you paused any thoughts of buying a Nissan if you were thinking of doing so? Or do you think this is just, like I said, gamesmanship to try and get somebody to invest in the company? I look forward to hearing your comments below. Hi guys, I've been writing. This is my first book, a novel, an all-out action thriller, and this one is a collection of 13 stories I've written over the course of 2 decades. The Euless Files and The Quantum Races by BC Guy are out now on Amazon.com. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.